I wanted to make a little video series going over getting started in a coffee roasting business. Okay, I've gotten a couple questions through like DMs on my personal account, over like Facebook Messenger, and over the last several months, just like people that have introduced me to someone else who's starting a coffee business. A lot of good questions that I wanted to provide answers to because I realized I actually have the knowledge. I want to provide that knowledge to other people who are searching YouTube like I did when I first started Viking Coffee to find out information on equipment, how to start, what to start with, coffee roasting, like all the things as far as like business goes, I searched for specifically in coffee, and there's really not a lot on YouTube, even now in 2022, that there was in 2016. There was far less in 2016. So I wanted to make a video series kind of going over that. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was just getting started, right? That was one of the biggest things for me. So like real quick, I want to just give you a quick 360 tour of our shop. Just kind of show you like, hey, I know what I'm talking about. So like, here's all of our roasted coffee stored in all these bins and buckets. We move through those whole bins probably in like 3 or 4 days. Bag sealer, wholesale order just sitting over there, needs to go out. Our coffee roaster, toolbox, kegerator, green coffee, green coffee, green coffee, green coffee, green coffee, green coffee, and our other room. You can see our cold brewer right back in there. Over here is where we fulfill orders. We have a little office space tucked in back in this corner. Backdrop for like shooting photos and shit. Motorcycle, because hey. So that's our shop space. I started out in my apartment. So significantly smaller than this. And it's definitely a beginning. And I started off exclusively selling e-commerce online. Okay, I didn't have a wholesale presence. I didn't have a coffee shop presence. I myself personally did not have a presence on social media. Okay, I was nobody. So don't let any of that deter you. It's possible. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of patience, but it is very much possible. It's possible to literally do anything you put your mind to. So, getting started. Where to start? It's probably like everyone's biggest question, like, oh, how do I get started in the coffee business? How do I get started coffee roasting? All this stuff. And my simple answer is just start. That's your only option, is just start. Don't worry about anything. Literally, do not worry about anything. Don't worry about the paperwork. Don't worry about what equipment you should get. Don't worry about what coffee you should roast. Don't worry about any of that shit. Just start. Like, just get started roasting. I got started roasting coffee on a cast iron skillet on my stovetop. I did it literally just for me. I didn't do it with the intention of selling it. I got started in it as a hobby for myself. What led me to wanting to start it as a business was something completely different. I've always wanted to own my own business. I've always kind of foresaw myself doing that. And I figured, hey, I'll wait till I'm 30 when I have money and I have stability to start it. By the way, I turned 30 in 2 months. That's not how it works. I realized that when I was younger, in my early 20s. I'm like, hey, this is not how that works. I need to start now. And that's literally why I say just start. Don't worry about it. I started on a cast iron skillet without a coffee grinder, and I just had an idea, okay? And when I actually did start, so like I started, I got the branding together, I got kind of what coffees we were gonna offer together. And this was in like May, so I didn't really start until October. And this is the year 2016, by the way. So in October is when I got the website. It's when I got the packaging together. And that was about it. That's also when I purchased a camera to take the photos of our product, to put them on social media, to put them on our website, so they're good quality. Okay, that's about what I started with. Literally roasting coffee on a cast iron skillet. That's how I got started. Okay. Then I eventually moved up to a Bmore 1600. I used that for probably a year and a half. and I moved up to an Alio Bullet, which we still have. I used that for 2.5 years. And then I moved up to our current roaster, which is a San Franciscan SF6. I didn't start off with the coffee grinder right away. We didn't offer ground coffee. We just offered whole bean coffee. And then eventually we got enough requests from people saying, hey, I would love to buy your coffee, but I don't have a coffee grinder. Do you offer ground coffee? That is when I went on Facebook Marketplace, found a commercial coffee grinder used for $300. I drove an hour and a half to pick it up. I drove it back. Super cheap. I think by the time I had the coffee grinder and the Be-More 1600, I had probably put in $800 maybe. So that's like just your packaging, the coffee roaster, the website, and the coffee grinder. To seal the bags, I used tin foil and a iron. So if you're getting started, you don't have a lot, like I did. I didn't have a lot of money to invest. I just didn't. There was not a lot of money to my name. I got started with that. I made it fucking happen. That's why I say just start. Don't worry about anything at all. What kind of equipment, what kind of roaster, none of that shit. Just get started. Get like 10 different samples of coffees that you think you might like. Practice roasting them. Get really good at roasting them. And then start expanding out. Let me back up. Get like 2 or 3 coffees that aren't too eccentric, that don't have some crazy tasting notes, that are pretty mild. Get really good at roasting those, and then start getting the 10 different samples of the 10 different coffees, getting samples of 10 different coffees. Branch out then. When you get really good at roasting consistently good coffee on like 2 or 3 coffees, then you can branch out to all the different coffees and try with those. Okay, just start. You don't need the best equipment. You don't need the best coffee grinder. You don't need the best coffee roaster. You don't need the best band sealer. You don't. Just fucking get started. That's all you need to do. If you're curious about it, get started, try it, see if you even like it. And then just go from there. That will save you a lot of headache. It'll save you a lot of money. It'll save you a lot of time. That's honestly the best advice I can give to anyone looking to get started in the coffee industry. If you don't have a lot of money, that's how I got started. You can do it too. Now, if you are pretty dead set on starting your coffee roasting business, if you have prior roasting experience, and you're willing to spend a little bit more money to get started, my advice is still probably the same. Use Facebook Marketplace to find like used coffee grinders. You can even use it to find used coffee roasters. There's plenty of Facebook groups where people are selling their roasters at a used cost. Granted, roasters hold their value really, really well, but still a little bit cheaper than buying one brand new, and you don't have to wait for production. Yeah, eBay, Facebook Marketplace are great resources. Even if you know some local roasters in town, they might have equipment that they need to get rid of, that they might not use as much anymore, that they might be willing to sell you. Yeah, man, don't overcomplicate it. If you have money to spend and you kind of know what you like, and you've been working coffee for a while and you know what you like, just trust your gut. You know what you like, and if you have the money to afford it, go for it. But understand that money is king in business. If you don't have cash flow and you spend all your money on this bougie equipment, and you kind of have an expense that comes up that you need to take care of, and you have to start tapping into your personal stuff, you might want to reconsider how you're running the business at that point. But that is an entirely different topic apart from this video. This video is strictly about starting. So if you have money to spend, my advice is still the same as in the beginning of the video. Just start. Don't worry about equipment. Don't worry about the roaster. Don't worry about any of that shit. Just start. Get really good at the things that you want to do with the business, and just start through like the cheapest possible way with what you have. That's my advice. Not saying it's the best, it's one way to do it. There's 1,000 ways to do anything. This is just my little quick take in 10 minutes on how to fucking start a coffee roasting business. Almost forgot to say too, if you guys found this video helpful, please do all the basic shit that you know you're supposed to do, like, subscribe, all that shit. But more importantly, maybe you are a person who's already kind of established in the coffee world or in the coffee business. 2-3 years in, I'd say. But you know someone who is starting a coffee business, more importantly. Share this video with them. I know it's helped people that I have interacted with in my own life, this same advice I gave here in this video. Pass it on to them. I know it'll help. If it doesn't, cool. If it does, cool. I just ask you to share with a friend.